This video did not exist until you directed your attention toward it. Your consciousness literally pulled this exact moment out of an infinite sea of floating possibilities. We are going to explore the absolute ultimate truth about the observer effect and your direct connection to the infinite quantum field. By the end of this powerful transmission, you will completely understand your true, undeniable power as the supreme creator of your reality, not just a helpless passenger in it. Have you ever felt a sudden, inexplicable inner knowing that guided you perfectly, only to be quickly drowned out by your own anxious overthinking? Before we decode the complex voices within you, we must fully understand the grand stage upon which your physical reality is built. The quantum field is definitely not just a dry scientific theory. It is a living, breathing, conscious web of infinite potential. Imagine an endless, glowing ocean of probability waves, where absolutely everything that could ever possibly happen already exists in a dormant, energetic state. Nothing becomes physically real until it is observed. Observation is never a passive act of just blindly looking at something. Observation is the incredibly active magnetic force of pure consciousness that literally forces the universe to make a solid choice. When you look, the wave instantly collapses into a particle. You are doing this every single second. The duality within you. Have you ever noticed that there are two distinctly different channels of information operating inside your awareness at all times? The first channel is loud, chaotic, repetitive, and deeply rooted in the past or constantly anxious about the future. This is the voice in your head. It is you thinking. It is the ego mind running its ancient survival algorithms, desperately trying to predict and control a reality it fundamentally does not understand. But then, underneath that noise, there is the second channel. It is incredibly quiet, instantaneous, and carries absolutely no emotional weight of fear. It is just a deep, unshakable, profound knowing. This is your intuition. This is your quantum self speaking directly to you from the field of infinite possibilities. Understanding the precise difference between these two internal forces is the master key to unlocking your true ability to manifest exactly what you desire. When you confuse the ego's chatter for the soul's wisdom, you trap yourself in a relentless loop of recycled experiences, continually collapsing the exact same probabilities over and over again. The ego mind and the known reality. The voice in your head is strictly a product of your physical brain, hopelessly tied to the dense material world. It only has access to the data of the past. Every single thought you hear chattering away is built entirely from old memories, unresolved traumas, societal conditioning, and learned limitations. When you try to create a brand new reality using only this voice, you are essentially trying to build a magnificent new house using the exact same broken blueprints of the old one. The ego mind cannot possibly perceive the quantum field because the field is the ultimate realm of the unknown. To the analytical thinking mind, the unknown is dangerous and terrifying. Therefore, the loud voice in your head will constantly try to talk you out of taking the leap of faith required for true manifestation. It stubbornly demands physical proof before it will offer belief. But the universe simply does not work that way. The infinite quantum field requires you to believe it, to observe it internally, long before it ever physically manifests in your three-dimensional experience. The thinking mind is just a biological computer. The quantum self and the infinite field. Your intuition, however, does not come from your physical brain at all. It originates from the deepest, most ancient layer of your consciousness, the part of you that remains permanently tethered to the infinite quantum field. Your true quantum self exists entirely outside the linear constructs of time and space. It can see the entire maze of your life from above, while your limited ego mind is stuck wandering blindly inside the walls. When you experience a sudden flash of profound insight, an undeniable urge to go somewhere, or a bizarre feeling to call someone, that is the quantum self whispering the exact mathematical coordinates of the reality you are trying to reach. This voice never debates. It does not argue or try to convince you. It simply delivers pure, unadulterated truth. To actually hear it, you must actively learn to quiet the chaotic static of the thinking mind. You must step fully into the present moment, because the absolute present is the only place where the quantum field can be successfully accessed. Your intuition is the universe handing you the ultimate shortcut to your most desired timeline. How thoughts collapse reality. Every single fleeting thought you give your conscious attention to acts as a microscopic collapse of the quantum wave function. But you must realize that not all thoughts are created equal. The repetitive, fearful chatter of the voice in your head usually collapses realities that look exactly identical to your painful past. This happens because where you place your focused attention is exactly where you direct your vital energy. If your daily attention is completely consumed by the internal voice telling you that you are not enough or that financial freedom is impossible, you are actively instructing the quantum field to materialize those exact suffocating limitations. You unknowingly become the architect of your own energetic prison. The universe does not judge your thoughts as good or bad. It merely reflects them. It acts as a perfect, uncompromising mirror to your dominant state of consciousness. Therefore, mastering your physical reality begins exclusively with mastering your attention. You must become the silent, detached watcher of the voice in your head, completely refusing to give it the power to sculpt your future. You are the observer. The frequency of intuition. Intuition operates on an entirely different dimensional frequency than normal human thought. It is the pure language of light, vibration, and energy. When your quantum self speaks to you, it very often bypasses human words altogether. It communicates its messages through sudden bursts of sacred geometry, deep, unexplained bodily sensations, or an overwhelming sudden sense of absolute peace. Have you ever met someone for the very first time and instantly knew you could not trust them, even though they said all the socially correct things? That was your quantum self reading their invisible energy signature in the field, long before your logical brain could process their spoken words. Or perhaps you felt a sudden, illogical urge to take a completely different route home, only to discover later that you successfully avoided a massive accident. This is never just a coincidence. This is your higher consciousness reaching back from the future to perfectly guide you in the present moment. The more you trust and blindly act upon these silent nudges, the stronger your connection becomes. You begin to walk through life perfectly synchronized with the cosmic flow. The trap of overanalysis. The absolute greatest enemy of your quantum intuition is your own relentless desire to figure everything out logically. The very moment you receive a pure intuitive hit, the loud voice in your head immediately swoops in to aggressively analyze it, dissect it, and usually entirely destroy it. Is this actually logical? It nervously asks. What will other people think of me? What if I take this risk and completely fail? In the incredibly short span of just a few seconds, you take a pure transmission from the divine field and violently drag it down into the muddy, dense waters of human fear. This overanalysis instantly drops your vibrational frequency. It violently pulls you out of the quantum realm of infinite possibility and slams you right back into rigid Newtonian physics, where everything is terribly slow, dense, and difficult to change. To manifest rapidly and effectively, you must practice radical, unwavering trust. When the quiet knowing strikes your soul, you must boldly move with it before the ego has time to build its defensive walls. Action taken purely on intuition always carries the immense momentum of the entire universe behind it. Emotions as the quantum magnet. While your focused thoughts dictate the general direction of your reality, your emotions are the actual magnetic charge that physically pulls the event into your three-dimensional experience. The voice in your head very often generates toxic emotions of stress, chronic anxiety, or deep-seated guilt. These incredibly low-frequency emotions are energetically heavy. They create a dense, restrictive energetic field around your body that actively repels miracles and powerfully attracts more of the same painful struggle. True intuition, on the other hand, is intimately and permanently connected with highly elevated emotions. Unconditional joy, profound gratitude, cosmic awe, and total freedom. When you deliberately align your heart with the quiet whispers of your quantum self, you generate a massive electromagnetic field. This field literally reaches out into the infinite wave of floating probabilities and instantly begins to draw your desired experiences toward you like a giant cosmic magnet. You do not ever have to aggressively force things to happen. You simply have to tune your internal radio dial to the exact frequency of your intuition. The illusion of time and space. The incessant voice in your head is totally obsessed with the concept of linear time. It constantly measures exactly how long something is taking, causing you to heavily doubt the manifestation process. It looks desperately at the physical world, sees no immediate evidence of your desire, and tragically concludes that you have completely failed. But your quantum self inherently knows that time and space are merely convincing illusions of the third dimension. In the infinite quantum field, absolutely everything is happening right now, simultaneously. The highest version of you that is wildly wealthy, perfectly healthy, and ecstatically happy already exists. It is just vibrating at a completely different frequency. Your intuition is the invisible energetic bridge between this current dense version of you and that luminous future version. When you courageously follow your intuition, you are not passively waiting for time to pass. You are literally collapsing space and time to instantly merge with that alternate reality. The more you consciously live from that deep inner knowing, the faster you bend reality to your absolute will. Decoding synchronicity. As you seriously begin to listen significantly less to the ego's chatter and much more to the quiet knowing of your soul, the universe will start giving you immediate feedback. We refer to this magical phenomenon as synchronicity. Synchronicity is absolutely never random chance. It is the conscious quantum field literally winking at you. It is undeniable mathematical proof that your profound internal shifts are actively altering your external physical environment. You might start seeing repeating master numbers everywhere, like 1111 or 333. You might randomly think of an old friend right before they suddenly call your phone. You might stumble upon an obscure book that holds the exact, specific answer to a complex question you just asked internally in your mind. These are not mere accidents of a chaotic world. They are glowing breadcrumbs intentionally left by your quantum self, strongly confirming that you are walking on the highest possible timeline. When you experience these moments, do not dismiss them as coincidences. Acknowledge them. By actively observing synchronicities, you amplify their frequency. The power of the silent gap. Right between every single thought that bounces around in your head, there is a microscopic gap of pure, absolute silence. For the vast majority of people, this gap is so incredibly fleeting they never even notice it exists. But within that profound silence lies the literal gateway to the infinite quantum field. When you practice meditation, your true goal is not necessarily to brutally stop thinking entirely, but to gently stretch the distance between those thoughts. As you successfully expand that silent space, you actively step completely out of the limited ego mind and right into the boundless realm of the conscious observer. In this majestic space of no mind, no time, and absolutely no identity, you become pure, unadulterated consciousness. This is exactly where you can most clearly hear the voice of your quantum self. It is entirely within the void that all cosmic creation truly begins. If you can patiently learn to rest in that profound silence, even for just a few moments a day, you totally reset your entire nervous system and perfectly align your vibration with the infinite. You stop forcing reality and start allowing it to unfold. Rewiring the biological computer. It is incredibly crucial to understand that the loud voice in your head is not fundamentally evil or out to destroy you. It is simply a biological machine doing exactly what it was evolutionarily programmed to do. It is frantically trying to keep you physically safe based entirely on outdated information. Your job is absolutely not to go to war with your own mind. War inherently creates severe energetic resistance, and resistance solidifies the very dense reality you are desperately trying to escape. Instead, your divine task is to gently and consciously reprogram it. When the voice in your head inevitably starts spinning a terrifying narrative of doom and gloom, simply observe it from a distance. Say to yourself, "Ah, there is the brain doing its ancient survival routine." By calmly observing the dark thought without emotionally reacting to it, you totally strip it of its power over you. You instantly break the energetic circuit. Over time, as you consistently and bravely choose the quiet knowing of intuition over the loud panic of the ego, your brain literally wires brand new physical neural pathways. You upgrade your biological hardware. The phenomenon of déjà vu. Have you ever been in a totally mundane situation and felt with absolutely chilling certainty that you have vividly been there before? This strange phenomenon, widely known as déjà vu, is completely misunderstood by the logical scientific mind. The voice in your head frantically tries to rationalize it as a simple misfire of human memory. But esoterically, déjà vu is a profoundly significant marker of ultimate quantum alignment. It occurs precisely when your current earthly trajectory perfectly intersects with the divine blueprint laid out by your quantum self, long before you even entered this physical body. It is a stunning moment of total synchronization between the timeline you are presently walking and the ultimate destiny you originally designed. When you experience déjà vu, you must pause and breathe it deeply in. It is a loud, clear signal from the intelligent field that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are not lost in the chaos. You are standing right on the glowing golden thread of your highest cosmic potential, guided flawlessly by the intuition that successfully brought you to that exact coordinate in space and time. Manifesting from the void. True, instantaneous manifestation does not happen by aggressively and obsessively thinking about exactly what you want. It happens by fundamentally becoming the vibrational frequency of what you deeply desire. The anxious voice in your head foolishly thinks manifestation is a tiring to-do list. It strongly believes in grueling hard work, endless struggle, and aggressively forcing physical outcomes. But your quiet intuition absolutely knows that true manifestation is simply a state of being. To effectively create a brand new reality, you must totally drop the heavy identity tied to the old one. You must willingly enter the void, the dark quantum vacuum where you are literally no one, nowhere, in no time at all. When you strip away all the societal labels, the heavy past traumas, and the exhausting future anxieties, you successfully become pure, formless potential energy. From this highly elevated state of pure potential, a single, clear intention sent out into the field has far more manifesting power than 1,000 hours of forced, frustrated mental visualization. You plant the seed in the fertile unknown and trust the universe completely. The illusion of separation. The absolute loudest and most damaging lie the voice in your head will ever repeatedly tell you is that you are entirely separate from everything else. It aggressively tells you that you are a tiny, lonely individual, hopelessly fighting against a massive, cold, and hostile universe. This pervasive illusion of physical separation is the exact root cause of all human suffering and perceived lack. But the study of the quantum field scientifically proves otherwise. On a microscopic subatomic level, there is absolutely no such thing as empty space. Everything that exists is seamlessly interconnected in a brilliant, vibrating, luminous web of pure energy. You are definitely not just a small drop in the cosmic ocean. You are the entire vast ocean contained within a single drop. Your divine intuition constantly tries to gently remind you of this profound unity. When you feel a sudden, overwhelming surge of compassion for a total stranger, or a deep sense of total peace while walking alone in nature, that is your quantum self actively dissolving the false illusion of boundaries. The very moment you truly realize that you and the universe are one, the struggle ends. Trusting the breakdown before the breakthrough. When you truly and courageously begin to follow your pure intuition and fully align with the quantum field, things in your physical life might suddenly and aggressively fall apart. Long-term relationships may abruptly end, secure jobs may disappear overnight, and your living circumstances may temporarily become highly chaotic. The logical voice in your head will scream in absolute terror, loudly claiming that you have made a massive, unforgivable mistake. But the quantum self remains completely calm and undisturbed. This is because your deep intuition knows perfectly well that the rigid old structure must be entirely dismantled before the magnificent new one can be successfully built. The conscious universe is aggressively clearing the stage to make plenty of room for the massive manifestations you have consistently called forth. What desperately looks like terrible destruction to the fragile ego is actually flawless divine rearrangement. In these incredibly challenging moments, your ability to strictly silence the fearful chatter and blindly trust the deep, quiet knowing is your ultimate spiritual test. Hold your high frequency. The magnetism of authenticity. Your quantum self is the absolute, truest, most beautifully authentic version of who you actually are. It wears no fake masks and plays absolutely no societal games. The voice in your head, however, is heavily invested in protecting your false persona, the artificial character you desperately created just to survive and fit into human society. When you primarily operate from the fragile ego, you continuously emit a fractured, deeply confusing energetic signal into the quantum field. You loudly ask for massive abundance, but secretly vibrate with the paralyzing fear of public judgment. The intelligent field simply cannot respond effectively to heavily mixed signals. But when you finally shed the heavy masks and radically begin to speak, act, and live exclusively from your pure inner intuition, you instantly become incredibly magnetic. Pure authenticity is definitively one of the highest possible frequencies in the entire universe. It is a crystal-clear, laser-focused beam of pure light that instantly cuts through all the heavy energetic static. When you are unapologetically yourself, the universe rushes in to fiercely support you. Navigating the crossroads of choice. Every single day of your life, you are constantly faced with countless choices. Each choice you make is a literal fork in the road, instantly branching off into wildly different, infinite, parallel realities. The timid voice in your head will almost always try to heavily persuade you to choose the path of least resistance, the familiar path that feels incredibly safe, known, and highly predictable. It obsessively analyzes the endless pros and cons based strictly on past data. But your divine intuition, your true quantum self, will very often point strongly toward the bold path that makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. It might suddenly ask you to take a massive risk, to step blindly into the unknown, or to leave behind something highly comfortable. This is the ultimate spiritual battleground of conscious reality creation. To truly master the profound observer effect, you must consciously and consistently choose to follow the subtle pull of intuition over the loud, demanding screams of logic. When you make the brave choice, the quantum field instantly and radically shifts to support your new elevated timeline. The art of letting go. One of the absolute greatest and most misunderstood secrets to rapid quantum manifestation is the profound daily practice of complete detachment. The anxious voice in your head desperately wants to actively micromanage the entire universe. It tries to dictate exactly how, exactly when, and exactly where your desires should physically manifest. This desperate, suffocating clinging completely strangles the natural flow of universal energy. It broadcasts a massive message of severe lack and deep distrust directly into the responsive field. Your quiet intuition, however, constantly teaches you the beautiful art of totally letting go. You set a crystal clear intention. You deeply feel the powerful emotion of the wish already fulfilled, and then you completely and utterly release it. You fully surrender the complicated how to the infinite, unfathomable intelligence of the quantum field. You deeply trust that the conscious universe has a significantly better and faster plan than your limited ego mind could ever possibly devise. By fully letting go, you completely remove your own energetic resistance out of the universe's way, allowing miracles to rush in. Becoming the conscious observer. You must deeply realize and fully accept that you have been actively manifesting your entire life. Every single physical thing you see around your environment right now is merely the frozen, materialized manifestation of your own past thoughts, dominant feelings, and continuous observations. The only significant difference now is that you are finally waking up to the actual mechanics of the process. You are rapidly transitioning from being a completely unconscious creator to a highly conscious, deliberate observer. This massive shift means taking full, radical, and unwavering responsibility for absolutely everything in your current experience. You can no longer play the victim and stubbornly blame the outside world, because the outside world is merely an accurate holographic reflection of your inner state. When you fully and bravely embrace this ultimate truth, you instantly reclaim all of your stolen power. The critical voice in your head will absolutely try to make you feel terrible guilt for your past unconscious creations, but you must silence it permanently. The past is dead. The only true point of power is right now. The ultimate revelation of self. As we finally reach the absolute deepest layer of this cosmic truth, you must intensely prepare yourself for the ultimate quantum revelation. The universe is entirely not something outside of you that you are helplessly trying to manipulate. The conscious quantum field is definitely not a separate, distant entity, randomly granting wishes like some sort of cosmic genie. The loud voice in your head is just the chaotic surface ripple, but the deep, infinitely quiet, intuitive ocean underneath is the literal fabric of reality itself. You are incredibly not just living in the universe. You are the vast universe temporarily expressing itself as a human being for a little while. Your intuition is not just a helpful guide. It is the literal voice of the Creator actively remembering its own boundless power. When you consciously observe your physical reality, it is quite literally God observing God. You are the infinite quantum field simply pretending to be a person. Wake up fully to this profound, earth-shattering truth. Quiet the endless chatter of the small mind. Listen closely to the grand symphony of your soul, and design your life. You are not just participating in reality. You are the very reality that is constantly observing itself into existence. Let the profound weight of that magnificent truth settle deep into your bones today. The chaotic chatter in your human mind is merely the fading echo of the past, but the quiet intuition in your soul is the divine blueprint of your ultimate destiny. You are the ultimate creator of your earthly experience through the magnificent power of your focused observation. Thank you for boldly tuning your consciousness to this elevated frequency right now. If this cosmic message resonated deeply with your soul, make sure to completely subscribe to the channel and firmly hit the like button to forever align with our growing community. To permanently anchor this profound quantum shift directly into your physical reality, publicly write this precise activation phrase in the comments below. I am the observer creating reality. I want to purposefully ask you something deeply personal before you finally go. What undeniable magical signs or beautiful synchronicities have you been successfully noticing in your daily life recently?